Hello, I'm Eric Kessler. I'm going to show you how to install your electronic Model 98 conversion kit. First off, we're going to start with what you should have in the kit. You should have one pneumatic ram, two batteries, a bottom line, 90-degree elbow, hose, air screw, internal valve parts, your board, valve, and battery holder, 1032 barb fitting, regulator, and some foam sealant tape. The tools you're going to need for this installation is a full Allen wrench set, long nose pliers, regular pliers, side cuts, a pin with a cap, a 90-degree pick, a small flathead screwdriver, a 1/2 and 7/16 wrench. The first thing you're going to want to do is take your barrel off the gun, set it aside, take the elbow off the gun. Using an 1/8 inch Allen wrench, first remove the valve screws off the back side of the gun. Next, you're going to want to remove the bottom line screws and the 6 body screws. After you have all the body screws out, go ahead and take this half of the body apart. Go ahead and just set it off to the side. After that, you're going to want to remove the hammer assembly, the front bolt, the rear end cap O-ring. Going to remove the sear end spring, the trigger end spring. And you go ahead and take your power tube and bottom line out of the gun also, and you might want to set your ball detent and your front sight spring and front sight off to the side. Your front grip. You're also going to want to remove your 2 pins here on the back of the gun. Set those pins aside. Okay, now you're pretty much down to the basic frame of the gun. Okay, and after you have it down to the bare gun here, you can go ahead and set this aside for right now. We're going to work on the power tube and valve. You take your 7/16 wrench and unscrew your gas line from the power tube. Next, you're going to take the 5/32 Allen wrench and remove your velocity screw. This is where your pin comes in. You're going to take the blunt end of the pin and push the valve out. After you have the valve out, go ahead and take your needle nose pliers and push the piston down past this hole. Stick your pin cap in there, and that's going to hold that down without damaging your threads because it's plastic. You'll want to remove the snap ring with this 90-degree pick, and you do that by starting at the beginning and just kind of walking around until it pops all the way out. There it is. After you got the snap ring out, go ahead and set your valve back on a book. Use your needle nose pliers to push that piston back down. Take this out and let this up slowly. Then go ahead and use your needle nose to push on the pin side to pop the piston out of the back of the valve. Remove these parts. Now you're going to replace them with the new spring and the new shorter piston and a new snap ring. You're going to use the same exhaust pin valve. You do this by sliding the spring over the pin valve and over the end plug and replacing it into the valve body. Next, you're going to repeat the process by pushing the plug back down, sticking your pin cap in it. It'll be much lighter this time. Next, we're going to replace the snap ring by having the bottom half of the snap ring open, and you're going to start that in the slot that's inside the valve. And at that point, you just kind of push and run it down in its channel. After that's done, just go ahead and remove this pin cap. Make sure that your pin valve is returning properly. After you replace the internal parts to the valve with the new ones, go ahead and slide your valve back into the power tube. You can line the holes up using an Allen wrench to twist the valve in there. And we're going to go ahead now and replace the velocity screw. Run it in flush with the face of the power tube there. We're going to set this aside for now. Next, we're going to be building our new bottom line. And you're going to start by holding on to the nuts on the back side here and unscrewing these screws. We'll need those. After you remove the screws, go ahead and remove the 90-degree elbow and gas line from the bottom line. We're going to take our new bottom line now. We're going to use some Loctite. Put a good drop of it on the 90-degree elbow there. Run it around. You're going to screw this into this side of the bottom line. Making sure to run it about level with the bottom line. Next, we're going to install our other 90-degree fitting on the opposite side. Use a little Loctite. You can use Teflon tape if you prefer. And you'll want to run this level also with the bottom line. Next, you're going to take your low pressure regulator or your LPR, screw it into the face side of the 90-degree fitting. Use your 7/16 wrench. If you notice there is a 1032 port on the side here, we're going to run that to the underside of the bottom line at about a 9 o'clock position. Next, we're going to install our power tube to the gas line. After you have the gas line installed to the power tube, go ahead and set that aside for right now. We're going to take the stock trigger, and you can use a 2-finger trigger with this kit if the trigger guard is removed. Go ahead and take your small screwdriver or an Allen wrench, and you're going to press these 2 pins out of the trigger. And you do that by just laying it over a section of the gun body and pushing them through. At the same time, you're going to remove this metal sleeve and the spring that's inside of it. Go ahead and set that aside. Next, you're going to take your bottom line and power tube assembly, lay it in the gun where it belongs, and you're going to reattach that to the body using the 2 1032 screws that we took out previously.